First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of Homa today, at the Vajradhatu Mandala, at the Wiskumbin court, the main deity there, the Wiskumbin Bodhisattva, the Vajra who eradicate afflictions. Simu, Tutan Siddhi, Tanzan Gatso, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are Taipei Rep to Sweden and Norway, Ambassador Tongzhou Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy,
中国中委会会计师特丽莎师姐 Anna Husman， 真佛佛业藏执行长
Accountant to Jupiter Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband, and the CEO of the tbboye.org, Dharma Sister
台湾雷藏寺
Jennifer
公关主任王之祖师兄，
and the PR director of the Taiwan Lezang Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wang, Dr. Zhou Heng,
张新丽医师，
and Dr. Zhang Xinli,
苏国英师姐，
and Dharma Sister Su Guoyin.
Ah, 大家午安，大家好。
Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
大家午安，大家好。你好，大家好。今天现在通知大家。
Today, I would like to announce for next Sunday, on February 16th, Sunday at 3 p.m., there will be Vajrapani Bodhisattva Homa fire offering ceremony. Vajrapani or Vajrahan Bodhisattva. We all know that Vajrapani Bodhisattva, when the Buddha spoke on the Vajrapani Bodhisattva, he appeared behind the Buddha. And Sakyamuni Buddha once said, if you are a spiritual cultivator with the correct or the right thought and right action, then you would have Vajrapani Bodhisattva behind you. And Vajrapani Bodhisattva is the strongest and greatest protector. The most powerful protector. And he's one of the three reliances of Tantrayana. or 3 roots. Oh no, it's not 3 roots, it's 3 reliances. And the 3 tantric reliances are: we rely for wisdom, we rely on Manjushri Bodhisattva. And there's Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and Vajrapani Bodhisattva. They are the 3 tantric reliances. And this deity is extremely important. He has great Dharma power. It's okay if you don't register to be the primary supplicant. Then you would be lacking one reliance. You may have compassion and wisdom, but without Dharma power and no protector helping you, because Vajrapani Bodhisattva represents Dharma power. Whatever work that you do, you need the Dharma power. With only wisdom, say if you only have wisdom, wisdom is intangible. And with only compassion and with wisdom, they are already pretty good. But in order to perform a Buddha work or Dharma work, you need Dharma power. First of all, to protect yourself, and secondly, you can propagate the Buddha Dharma using your Dharma power. So this is very important. So being primary supplicant for this deity is still extremely important. So in Tantrayana, they are the 3 reliances. Today we perform the Homa of Sarvanivarana Viskambin Bodhisattva. He also has great Dharma power. He's one of the Buddhist 8 great Bodhisattvas. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Manjushri Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, Maitreya Bodhisattva, Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, Vajrapani Bodhisattva, and Viskambin Bodhisattva. The origin of these 8 great bodhisattvas were, these 8 bodhisattvas were cultivating spiritually at the same period and had great attainments. So they are referred as the 8 great bodhisattvas. And his secret name is the Vajra who eliminate afflictions, or away from afflictions. Vajra who is apart from the afflictions. By practicing this deity, we can abandon all of our afflictions. I remember my guru told me, we have afflictions because of our ignorance. And what is the greatest ignorance? The worst ignorance is that whatever that is tangible in this world, you think only the physical world exists, and the world that you cannot see does not exist. So all that you could see is everything in this Saha world. You don't know that there are other worlds. So my Guru said, this is the worst kind of ignorance. So if you are attached to this kind of ignorance, then you would never abandon this Saha world. You will not be able to renunciate or renounce the Saha world or the rebirth cycle. That's what the Guru said. So if you attach to the Saha world, actually there are still many worlds that we cannot see, many realms that we cannot see. Now we still have many people wearing masks. Mostly are the monastic people, the lay people. Not very many lay people wear the face mask, so the Sangha members are more afraid of death. There are many of them wearing masks over here. The world that you cannot see is like the world of the bacteria and virus. So to eradicate bacteria and virus is very difficult. So enemies that you can see, you can still try to eliminate. But things that you cannot see, all you can do is to hide from it. Close all the doors and windows, and you isolate yourself inside, quarantine yourself. And then when you feel that the germs are subsiding, then you get out. So that's what the situation is now. So with the virus, you isolate yourself, and the virus are outside floating around, and they don't have place to be parasite of, and then they die. That's what they're trying to do now, right? So closing off some cities, some counties, some buildings is to leave the virus out until all the virus die. Then the problem is solved. But the virus is intangible. It's invisible. So when they don't have any place to be a parasite of, then they would die. So all we can do is, like when we cannot see the bacteria and the virus, all we can do is to quarantine ourselves. There are many things, intangible worlds that we cannot see, like the ghost. You cannot see. but they do exist.
我前几天晚上啊，
A few nights
我
ago,
去我家的客厅，
I went to my own
在我
living
家的
room.
客厅，然后本来我们家里有2只孔雀，在客厅有2只是铁的。
In our living room, we have 2 peacocks made of iron.
孔雀是你摆的嘛？
Did you place them there?
那个铁的
Yeah.
孔雀，你给它摆在后门的地方。
At the back
后
door,
门一个很大的这个棚景的旁边。
next to a
那我
huge
关灯的时候啊， 我就看到
plant
我们家的2只
planter
孔雀，
pot,
有一只哦离开它的这个
and one of these
它的位
peacocks
置，跑到
move
这个
position
家的后门，后门几乎要开门出去了。
to the back door. It's almost opening the door to
然后我
leave.
关灯，关后面的。
As I was turning off the
我在
lights,
关灯的时候，我就跟孔雀讲话。
and when I was switching off the light, I told the
乖
peacock,
乖的在那里，你跑到这个
You should stay where you were. Why are you coming here to the door?
能听到说
Go back.
你要吓死我吗？
And Sim heard it and said, Are you trying to scare me?
你要吓死我吗？你在跟谁讲话？
Whom are you
我
talking
说我在
to?
跟孔雀讲话，
I was talking to the peacock.
我在跟无形的讲话，你自己要走回去。
I told the intangible, you should
单
move
独一只这
back
样子
by
要
yourself. How could you leave
是
by
看着你
yourself?
在原来的地方。
And the other peacock is
我
staying.
家里的会移位，很多东西会移位。
So I said, there are many things that move around in my house.
他突然之间他走了，他就走了。
It was at a certain place and it moved by itself. So they do exist.
讲了，我到我的洗衣间，
I've said it. I went to our laundry room. We have 2.
间是在一个是
Of
在
them.
湖边的洗衣间，
One is on the tiger side that's being used often.
我的睡房旁边有一个洗衣间，
And on my side, next to my bedroom, there's another laundry room that's never used before.
换净茶供养活菩萨。
But I used it
每
to
次
change water for offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And behind the altar, it was the
洗衣间，然后
laundry room
换这个
or the washing machine.
换水的时候，供水
So every time I entered into the laundry room to change the water offering,
全部震动，全部震动。
all the cabinets inside that room would tremble.
但是就咔咔咔咔咔咔咔，
I didn't touch it,
全部震动了，
but it would,
柜子全部都是
咔啦咔啦
全部震动。
they all
因为我那
shake
很喜欢鬼
or vibrate. Many ghosts love to hide in there.
没有弹指，
And when I
弹
got
一下子，
when I get in, I didn't snap your fingers, which is to tell them
如
that
果
I'm
先
coming.
弹指，
You should move aside.
他们会走开。
If I snap your fingers first, then they would
来不及
move away.
逃，
But without snapping my fingers, I just walked in, and they immediately had to run away
逃到柜子
to under the sink, to the washing machine, to the cabinets.
所以弄得整个通通在震动。
So it was quite a mess. So it all vibrated.
我也不吵他们。
I'm used to
走到
it.
运动街
I will not bother
起
them.
来啊，一年
Or when I walk to the
看看我自己
exercise room, and after waking up, I want to check myself in the mirror.
然后就走到我的那个运动间。
Then I would walk
那运动
into
间
my
里面
exercise
都是
room.
玻璃，
There are mirrors all around.
不是玻璃，是镜子，是镜子。运动间里面
Mirrors.
都有镜子的。 我走到运动间，然后我去照镜子，照我的镜子，我走进去一照镜子，
and I look at myself in the mirror.
脚踏车啊，按摩
And
椅
as
啊，
soon the
还有体重
bicycles,
机
the
啊，
massage
还有
chair,
运动的器材啊，
and the weights,
全部发出响声。
and all the equipments would make sound.
那别人哦，炸得惊死啊！如果是慧君讲，
It
哎呦那么大
would
声
be
哦，
very
他脚是两只脚一
scary.
就变成元宝落地。
Like if it's for Hui Qin, wow, so loud, and her legs
真
would
的，
weaken and then
后
she
面
would
的仪
fall
器
to the
根本就没有
ground
人在用
like
啊。
a,
那你不过是冲进去照
a
镜子啊。
treasure.
我一看
You're not using the equipments, you're just
然
looking
后
at yourself in
后
the
面的
mirror.
所有的机器、按摩椅啊，那个脚踏车啊，怎么样，全部发出响
And
声。
then the massage chair, the equipments would make sound.
我回头就跟他们讲，
And I turned my head
不要
and
吵，
told them,
安安静静的，
be
乖
quiet,
乖的听话。
just be
你如果乖
obedient.
乖的听话，我就给你棒棒糖吃。
If you're nice and obedient, then I'll give you a lollipop.
习惯了嘛，我已经习惯家里的这种现象。
I am used to this kind of things at
他明
home.
明都有啊，
So they do exist.
所以不要以为只有人间呢，真的是。
So don't
我当初
just
在写法的时候
think
啊，
that
我知道
there's the human world only.
真的有什么现象。
When I
我在写法的
study
时候啊，合掌
the Dharma, I knew
那时
that
候
they
啊，
do
无
exist.
形的来，
When I joined my palms, the
将我的
intangibles
脚抬
came
起来，抬
and
起
they
来，
lift my leg, one of
我
my
觉得他
legs.
抬得太久，
And
看
when
脚
I
就
found
精疲
it's
力
too
尽，
long, I
精疲
was
足力，我
standing
不能
on
站
one
得
leg.
结果他把我抬起来，抬
Cannot
太
be
久，
for too long,
我的
right?
脚
But
要放下去，我发
they
觉
they
脚放不下
lifted
去，
for a long time, and I wanted to put
脚
my
被
leg
他们抬
down,
住，
but
可
I
是
could
脚
not.
根本没有办法往
The
下
leg
走，
was being held up. I couldn't put it down.
不能够这只脚去踩到地上。我那时候心中有一个感觉，哎呀，
So at that time,
真的是有这种无形
I
的
really
力量，
felt in
把
my
我一
heart
只脚抬起来。
that this kind of
他说
intangible power
你从此
does
以后
exist.
很
And
多
they
无
told
形
me
的，
that from now on you have to believe there are
所以在我
many
们佛经里面有写到
intangibles.
很多的这种现象。像释
So
迦
in
牟尼
our
佛
Buddhist
说法
Sutra, it was
来
written
听法的，有所谓的人非人，人非人。
that when Sakyamuni Buddha was giving a teaching,
是人没有错，但是
the
不是
ones
真
who
人
came
就不
listening,
是人。
some of them were humans
有
and
所谓佛经
non-humans.
里面不是讲啊，佛陀说法
It's
的时候
often
有
written
报
in
了
the
多少
sutra.
啊，还有那个诸
And
天
when the
啊，
Buddha was giving
还有
Dharma
所谓那
teaching,
个
he
那
went
些天龙八
that
部啊，都
the
来听
audience
法，
were the
那还
devas,
有所谓的
devis, the
非
heavenly
人啊，
beings,
都来听法。
and the heavenly
所以是
dragons,
真的有，
and
也不是没
also
有。
humans
所
and
以不要以为说你
non-humans,
看不见
non-humans.
就是没
So
有。
they do exist. Don't
所以我
think
那时
that
候我
because you cannot see, they do not exist.
印象中最深的，他把我的脚抬起
So
来，然后
the
讲
thing that left the
道
deepest
理。
impression on me is when they lift my leg, I could not
那
put
这
it
个都
down
是很神奇的事情。所以这个
when they
灵魂
lifted my leg.
啊，灵魂
So this is quite
是实有，
quite
就是
mystical.
实在有的。
So like our souls, they do exist.
诸天的境界，
And the
一直
realms
到
of
细神的
gods,
境界，
of the heavenly realms
佛
and
经
the
里面所
fourth
提到的都是实有，
sagely
那
realms.
不是迷信。
And these are not
所以
superstitious.
我的师父跟我讲，最
So my guru told me that the greatest superstition or delusion is you just think whatever that you can see, only what you can see can exist. And then things that you cannot see do not exist. That would be the worst kind of ignorance. So the most important purpose of our spiritual cultivation is to break apart our ignorance, to destroy our ignorance. And we also need to eliminate our own habitual tendencies, such as greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride. These are habitual tendencies of human beings. And you also need to destroy our ego, our attachment to self. That Buddhist philosophy is about the philosophy of no self, that all sentient beings are equal. As a bodhisattva, we want to benefit sentient beings, not benefiting yourself. If you benefit yourself, then that's a selfish mind. If you just benefit yourself and not the other beings, then please don't make the bodhisattva vow, because a bodhisattva is not like that. So the bodhisattva vows or precepts are to help sentient beings, to help them, to teach them the right dharma, to teach them how to practice and to purify their body, speech, and mind, and to eliminate their afflictions. So the ones who stress the benefiting others are the bodhisattvas. But those who benefit themselves and have attainments, then that's arhats. And then when you benefit others, you become a bodhisattva. That's what simply said. If you only practice yourself and you don't care about other sentient beings at all, then that's the realm of Alohan, of Arhat. And the bodhisattva is primarily to benefit others. Like Guru Padmasambhava, of course, is to benefit sentient beings, primarily to benefit others, and Ishichogal too, to help sentient beings. So as a bodhisattva, you will never harm or hurt other sentient beings. Instead, you benefit sentient beings. Sometimes you can even forsake your own life. This is important. Why do we have afflictions? Because you're selfish. That's why you have afflictions. When you don't get what you want, then you become afflicted. When you don't get what you wish for, you get afflicted. And Wisconsin Bodhisattva is the Vajra who abandoned afflictions. Why do we have afflictions? Because you have attachments. You have attachment to self. You have afflictions. Then naturally you become afflicted. You only think for yourself and not for others, then of course you would be afflicted. You would feel troubled. If you only think for others, then it's okay even if you sacrifice yourself. that bodhisattvas don't have any affliction. Because this bodhisattva is called the Viskhambin bodhisattva, the bodhisattva who eliminates afflictions, attachments to self, ignorance, the 5 poisons, and obscurations. So that's the bodhisattva who eliminate hindrances and obscurations. Viskhambin bodhisattva. Like for Grandmaster today, I notice one thing is missing on my desk. What is it? Could it be at the back? What should be prepared here? Who's in charge of this? You're hiding my water and I couldn't find it. I almost felt troubled because there are no water on the desk. Now I know it's behind because it's being kept warm. In this Saha world, human beings, because they have afflictions, if your spiritual cultivation is very high, if you have reached a very high realm, then you will not be afflicted. Like some disciples would say, Grandmaster, you're in a bad mood today. This statement for Grandmaster should not be said. This kind of statement should not be said to Grandmaster. I have written that you need to, every day, living for the day, you should be happy for the day. Of course, sometimes I am worried about the sentient beings and other people. That is not affliction. It's just worrying about other people, about all people. Or like some people say, you're in a bad mood today. Then in Japanese, it's kimochi warui, is in a bad mood. But instead, every day I would say kimochi ii, which means a good mood. Good. So, when you're in a bad mood, kimochi warui in Japanese, that means you're being worried, troubled. Every day we say this, I stay. 사랑이 kimochi ii. And what does kimochi ii mean? Is that you feel good and you're in a very good mood. So of course, Grandmaster, never. Even if I have affliction, it's only for a split of a second. Our principal used to say it with a different intonation, so it became his nickname, Ihatsu. Like just for a split of a second, I would feel that, oh, it's so hard to salvage sentient beings. But quickly, it's overcome. Because Grandmaster heart is just about caring for sentient beings. When you come, oh, please come in and have a seat. But if you leave, then okay, please have a good leave. It's okay whether you come or not, it's up to you. So just very natural. So everything is at will. So the mind is like the white cloud, very carefree, and the mind is like the water and just flowing anywhere. Everything is natural. And every day I would say kimochi-i. So there is no such thing that Grandmaster is in a bad mood, because anything that happens is just for a split of a second. Nothing is it's very miserable or suffering, or nothing that would make me very afflicted. So once you reach this kind of realm, then you have reached a realm that you have abandoned the afflictions of the world. There was once a disciple that told Grandmaster, Grandmaster, I'm sorry. I denigrated you so badly with even the worst words. But I said, oh, it's okay. I want to repent. And I said, it's okay. Don't worry. The more you disparage me or denigrate me, it's the happier I'm. Well, I cannot say that because I didn't hear it. I'm not affected. Doesn't matter how evil or vicious you said. I'm not affected at all. Like Yao Zong burned my photo onto the ceramic of his toilet. And then he would pee and poop onto that photo. So his pee would be on my face on that photo. So in his urinal and his toilet. So he used his pee and poop to slap on my photo. So he used that so that I drink pee and eat poop every day. And he even uploaded on the internet the photo of the urinal and toilet. So he wanted to show that he's insulting me. But I'm okay. I'm still happy. I didn't drink any pee and didn't eat any poop. So that's how it is. Doesn't matter.
你看那个菩萨六度里面呢，其中一个
So
忍辱。
you need to learn about endurance and patience, which is one of the 6 perfections of bodhisattvahood. But I don't need to endure or tolerate. There's no need because that's quite a hardship. Just be natural.
好，谢谢你，谢谢你，啊，谢谢谢谢。
Thank you.
上是这样的，你要学到除盖当菩萨的。
So you need to learn from Visakambin Bodhisattva to abandon the afflictions, then let everything be natural.
好的来，你也不用太欢喜。
When good things come, there's no need to be overjoyed.
进来的，你不用太欢喜。
In the
进来的。
favorable conditions, shouldn't be too overjoyed, but in the adversity, there's no need to be so upset either. So this is abandoning afflictions. So spiritual cultivators should learn the spirit of this, which is where Visakambin Bodhisattva is greatest at. Let's talk a little bit about Lamde. Protecting oneself against the hindrances to fall into the wisdom side. So hindrances by who? And falling into the faithful actions, falling into spiritual experiences, and what hindrances, when hindrances, hindrances on what, protection on what, toward the outside demon and inner demon. And the inner demon. These are all the titles. And one by one it will be explained. So below is a summary for those who fall into the wisdom side, as in the verse, up to the celestial demon, use the 4 spiritual awakening as protections. In this there are 5 things: hindrances by who, what hindrances, when, and hindrances on what, and protection on what. The most important thing is up to the celestial demon, use the 4 awakening as the protection. What is this celestial demon? That's actually Mahaswara. Mahaswara, heaven. The celestial. That you have reached a very high realm in your spiritual cultivation. That the 6 heavens of the realm of desire is the Mahaswara heaven, and we refer to him as the Mara, Mahastara Mara, or celestial demon. Like Ishichogal, when she was practicing in the cave, because her bright radiance was too strong, because through her spiritual cultivation she had light on her body, and because her light was too bright, all the gods and the ghosts around her
所以他们
were
伤害到他们，
bothered by the
他们
bright
就变
light,
成那个魔
so they felt
来
obstructed by it.
侵犯这个伊喜ço感。
So they became Mara to attack Ishichogal.
教性，
And Ishichogal also used the 4 spiritual awakening as her protection. And what are the 4 spiritual awakenings?
他在打坐的时候，
Many people told Grandmaster when they are meditating,
觉得一直在掉下去，
when they were meditating, they felt like they were falling into a very deep hole,
他就心里产生恐慌，
kept falling,
在打坐的时候
and then
觉
they
得
got
自己
really
飞出来
scary.
飞到虚空之中，
Oh, when you were meditating, you felt that you were flying into the sky and you were flying higher and higher, and you started to be
那个
terrified.
都是属于一种魔境，
So those were considered a demonic realm.
你
Actually, it's fine, no big deal.
从定中出定的时候，
When you exit from your meditation, you're still sitting wherever you
并没有离开
sat.
那里，
You
不
did
管你到
not
哪里去。
you did not move from that spot.
我曾经在打坐的时候，在打坐的
One
时候
time when I was meditating, something
这个
happened.
现象想起来，
This phenomena
让你们这个觉得也会很恐惧的，
would make you feel terrified.
叫做绞肉机吗？绞肉的机器呀、有没有？
You know the machine, the
就
grinder,
是
the
把
meat
那个肉
grinder,
放
meat
进去以
grinder
后啊，它
machine.
里面会搅，搅就变成脆
So
的
you
肉块，
put
变成很脆的肉，绞
the
肉
meat
机。
into it and
在
then
打
it
坐的
becomes
时候
ground
曾经
meat.
产生这种现象，
There was one time when I was
觉
meditating,
得
this
我已经
phenomena
身体已
occurred.
经移到一个绞肉机的前面，而
I
且
felt
转
that
来
my
转去，
body moved to the
而
front
且一
of
转
the
进去
meat
我，
grinder
整个肉
machine
全部都变
and
成
move
肉了，
and
连骨
about
头
to
都没有。
enter it, then I would become ground meat without even bones.
这时候你心里会不会感觉到害怕？
Don't you feel scared at that
那时候
moment?
你忘掉你自己呀、你自己
You
觉
have
得
forgotten
已经
about
进到绞
yourself,
肉机的口啊，要被整个被绞成肉
and you felt that you
当然会产生恐惧。
were already at the
那你
mouth
叫醒
of
的时
that
候啊，
meat
这
grinder.
里面提到叫醒，就是你突然间之间知道
But about
我在
this
禅定，
spiritual awakening is all of a sudden
一
you
切的影
knew,
响，
you
一
know
切
that
外
you
面
are
的外物
meditating,
都不会影响我。
that any
就算绞
influences,
肉机
any
在前面，
surroundings,
你也无
nothing
所
would
谓。
affect you. Even when the meat grinder is right in front of your eye, it's
我
okay.
还有一个现象，当初的时候，
You won't be
你知道
affected.
法国啊，很
There's
多
another phenomena.
皇后啊，或者是国王啊，
In France, there
法
were
国有一种断
many
头台嘛，
kings and queens that were
上面
being
一个很利的
guillotine,
刀，
guillotine,
对不对？啊，你头
Guillot
伸在那里，头伸在这
so
个
they have a
这个
very
断
huge
头刀的下面，然后这个刀放下来，咔嚓，
knife,
头就滚下来了。
and
那
then
是法国那个断头台，
and then you put the head there, and then they let the blade, the really heavy
在打坐
blade,
的时候，
fall down
突
to
然之间
behead
我
the
的头
people,
伸到那个断头
the
台
guillotine.
那里，
And one time when I was meditating, my head is right there,
刀，
and I saw that very sharp,
心里
heavy
会不会害怕？
blade that was
可
about
是
to
你只要
fall.
叫醒的话，
Wouldn't you be
就
terrified?
知道这个是不过是幻
But if you awaken,
这
you
个是属于
know
幻境，
that this was just an
幻
illusion.
想也会产生
It
魔
was
性的
just illusory. Even in your visualization, you can
乃
generate
凭金不
some
叫，
inner
大
demons.
鹏鸡翅鸟，旷野鬼神者，
The Garuda, the
大
golden
鬼
winged
之母，
bird,
甘露系
and all the gods and the ghosts,
也是
the
这样，
wandering and may they be sprinkled with all sweet nectars. And all of a sudden, that can generate the demonic realm. And all of a sudden, I saw a huge, the golden wing bird, the Garuda. And then I had this mind. I used a bow and arrow and shot it against the Garuda. And then I reminded myself that, hey, I am about to make offering to the Garuda. How come now I'm holding the bow and arrow and about to shoot toward the Garuda and kill it? The Garuda was flying, and I became a very sharp arrow to be shot toward the Garuda. And yet I was about to make offering to it. So, but the demon, the Mara, continued to distract me, to influence me. And I became that sharp arrow being shot toward the Garuda. Then I would commit the crime of killing. So the Garuda, all the Yaksa and Raksasa and all the wandering ghosts and gods, and may they be sprinkled with sweet nectars. I was about to make offering to them, and yet I was about to kill it. So at that time, all of a sudden, I became very horrified. And what should have I done? What did I do? When after I already shot the arrow, and then I think that the Garuda, I thought that the Garuda caught the arrow with one of his claw, and then I shot another arrow, and then his other claw caught the other arrow. Was there a emblem, a national emblem, where the Garuda were holding two arrows on his claws? And I've seen that. Is that the U.S. emblem? So that's why I counter-visualize the Garuda to catch the arrows. So don't be affected, because you should know that they are just manifested, the illusions manifested by your own inner demons. And if you awaken, they're gone. So that's what it meant. So toward or up to the celestial demon or Mahaswara, use the four spiritual awakenings as the protection. This is real. In the spiritual cultivation, your radiant light was about to leave the Saha world that's about to reach the high realm. Then the demons would come, the Mahaswaras would come, the Maras would come to test you or to obstruct you. The same for Sakyamuni Buddha or Ishichoka. You have to use the clear, lucid awakenings to counter them. That's what it meant here. A fortune teller told a kid, I can be considered the great fortune teller like Kong Ming. I'm like the little Kong Ming. So anything that you want to tell? And the kid replied, how about my math homework? So he quickly broke the fortune telling's trick. The wife asked the husband, "Oh, that woman there is really beautiful. So, hey, what do you say? Between me and her, who's more beautiful?" And the husband asked, "Do you want to hear the truth or lies?" And the wife said, "The truth. Of course, you're more beautiful." "And how about lies?" And the husband said, "I didn't see anything." There are many words in this world. There are some truthful news and fake news and fake information and fake a lot of things. For human beings, it's like this. In order to be awakened, is you have to use your lucid wisdom to observe. Use your own wisdom, especially the awakened wisdom, which means the wisdom that you are very clear and lucid to observe whether they are true or false. And you should just ignore them rather than being affected by them. Nowadays, the news are like that. Usually celebrating Chinese New Year, we often write the Chinese character wealth. And where should you paste it on? So let me ask Tutan Siti. If you write the character wealth, where should you paste it on? Now let me test your brain. At the wealth corner. For the wealth rolling in, then it will not roll at the wealth corner. You must have seen this joke before. Did you? Yes. So you paste it on the wheel, then it would roll all the time. So it's let the wealth rolling in. You must have seen this joke, otherwise you would have not been able to answer it. Did you see the joke? No? I know you haven't. I was eating at the restaurant and there was a beautiful lady sitting next door and then hugged Xiaoming and said, "Husband, honey, do you think I'm beautiful today?" And Xiaoming's heart skipped a beat and, "Oh, is this the start of my romance? Oh yeah, you look beautiful, beautiful." And the lady said, "Well, then, hubby, I have things I have to go. I'm waiting for you at home, okay?" And as Xiaoming looking at her back, walking away, he's wiping off his drool. And at this time, the boss came with the bill and said, "Sir, your wife just spent 3,600. Are you paying together?" So see who's smarter. That beautiful lady is smarter. So sometimes, please don't jump into the setup that people create for you. And she was trying to set that up, like to frame you and sometimes they have an agenda. So please be careful. You don't want to jump to it. Otherwise, you may have fall onto your face. There's a famous professor being invited to speak at the nudist camp. And just a few seconds even before the speech, he was wondering whether he should wear the suit. Would that be impolite to speak with the suit at the nudist camp when everybody nude? So he finally decided to just become one of them and took off everything and got on stage nude. And then when they opened the curtain, he was about to faint, that all the audience to wear suit to show their respect to the professor. They wear the evening suits and gowns. So at moments like this, you need to use your lucid and bright wisdom to observe, make decision, and protect yourself. So you should have asked the organizer or the host, should I go to the stage nude or with a suit? And the audience, whether they would come listening nude or with clothes, so you can know ahead of time. So if you come prepared, then there would be no fault. Because I'm also a superhero. Mana. Just sound the same. Fukui. So Om Mani Padme Hum.
非常感谢法王圣尊莲生活佛精彩宝贵的法语开始。
We are very grateful to His Holiness.
制作的椅子叠好，放在楼梯的两旁。
Precious Dharma teaching.
不要拥挤，也不要紧张，手结除盖藏菩萨手印，细心观想。
And in a moment there would be the
合一。
empowerment for the Visakambin Bodhisattva. And during the empowerment, please form the mudra, visualize the deities, and recite the mantra. This ends the English interpretation today. Thank you very much.